Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're gonna be working on a faux rusty tin panel technique. I'm gonna do it in 3 parts. First part is gonna be texture and raised design. The second part is gonna be using reactive metallic paints from Modern Masters. And the third part is going to be the painting and the finishing. This tutorial originally appeared on Furniture Painting University several years ago, and I've condensed it and brought it to everybody. Please do stick around to the end of the video so that you can see how the whole thing comes together. To create texture, I used texture medium from Artistic Painting Studio and applied that all over. While the texture medium is still wet, I took some bubble wrap. Gently placed it onto the medium, pressed lightly, and then peeled it back, and then this just gave me some random all over texture. To create the embossing or the raised relief like you would see on a real tin panel, I used 2 different stencils. I used part of this large stencil from Royal Design. The smaller stencil, which I put in all 4 corners of my panel. I let the texture medium dry, and then I gave it a very light sanding just to smooth everything out. Next, I'm going to use a reactive metallic paint from Modern Masters. I love this system. It comes with a primer, paint that has real metal particles in it, and then an activator. In this case, I'm using iron ore and rust. You'll want to do 2 coats of the primer, following the directions on the can for dry time, followed by 2 coats of the iron ore paint. Again, reading the directions on the can and following guidelines for dry time. After the iron paint is dry, next comes the fun part where we're going to use the rust activator. Want to make sure you follow all of the safety precautions on the label and follow all of the drying directions on the label. You're going to do 2 coats of the activator and let it all dry, and then you'll see your nice rusty finish. After the rust activator has had a chance to do its thing, you are going to want to use a water-based sealer before going on to the next step. So in order to get the crackling and chipping kind of look like you would see on a real old painted tin panel, you're going to use Crackletex by Artisan Enhancements. I am applying it all over with a stippling type motion. After the Crackletex is dry, I used a 2-inch chip brush to apply 2 different colors. In this project, I used Sloan Old White and Old Ochre side by side in a bowl. It just gives me some randomness and some variation of color. You want to be careful that you aren't disturbing too much of the Crackletex, and so I used kind of a stippling motion to apply the paint. Before the paint has a chance to dry, I used a damp sea sponge and a pull-off technique to pull off some of the paint. You can pull off as much or as little paint as you want. It all depends on just how much of that rust you want to come through your white paint. Then we let the paint dry and we have this yummy goodness. Look at all of those crackles and that great texture. You're going to want to go ahead and use a water-based sealer again to seal this up before we move on to the next step. I chose to use both a dark and a black wax on this project just to enhance those crackles and give it even that much more depth, dimension, and age. But you could certainly just finish it up with your clear sealer, or if you chose some clear wax over the top, you could do that too. You do want to make sure that you have clear wax handy so that you can take off any dark or black wax that is too dark for you. I know there were a lot of steps and a lot of products, but I think the end result is spectacular. Thanks so much for watching today, you guys, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications so you'll know every time I upload a new video. See ya!